Hi, Bearded Rogue back with another 3 Things I Love, and today we're going to be focusing on Heir to Europa. It's published by Smart Play Games. It was actually designed by Nick Ferris. I had the wonderful pleasure of playing this at Unpub this year in its unpublished format, and then have since acquired the print-on-demand version that you can get from Smart Play Games at Drive-Thru Cards. And I wanted to tell you why this was my hit of Unpub. Like, this was by far, out of all of the wonderful games I played at Unpub, including my own, this was the one that really stuck out for me. So, let's go ahead and get on to it. First of all, first thing I love about this game, if you hadn't already grokked, is the artwork. Like, I just want to show you, there are 4 suits in the game, and each one has their own unique artwork. Each individual, the speakers, namers, heirs, and champions, each have their own artwork. First of all, I want to point out that all of them have a consistent, unique style. All of them look a lot like Aquaman from Young Justice. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but the electric neon tattoo technology is very distinctive. The fact that they are all persons of color is also fantastic, and the fact that the different garb that they wear all looks like it could come from the same society, but at the same time isn't too ostentatious or impractical. Like, they're all wearing something that you could expect somebody to actually wear at some point. A little bit more formal than you would expect in some cases, but it exists. And I was wrong, there are 5 suits. This guy was hiding here, the Prophet. And look at that guy. Anyway, so that's one of the first things that I love about this game, is that the entire art direction. The art direction really allows it to stand out in a crowd. I mean, it doesn't look like any other game. Have you ever seen a game that looks like this one? I haven't. Not until I saw this one. Like, they had a picture standing on the table of this image, and I had to know more. As soon as I found out it was a trick-taking game, I really had to know more. I guess the original theme of this game was Les Mis. It was a Les Mis themed game, which still would have been awesome because that's not a theme you see all the time. But I think this really pops, and the art direction and graphic design that Smart Play and Daniel Solis and I'm going to butcher her name, but Marija Lozada did for this game is phenomenal. So that's the first thing I love about this game. What's the second thing I love about this game? Well, if you're familiar with trick-taking games, you know that at some point in the game, you get to a point where the cards in your hand are pretty much going to play themselves. Like, there's an appropriate time to play each card, and it's just going to work that way no matter what. Well, in this game, that doesn't happen. And the reason why, I'm going to pick you up here for a second, is this right here. So, this right here is the reputation track. So, at the beginning of the game, there will be various reputation cards placed around here for the various factions. So, you only use the highest of any particular suit. Also a 7, and then, last but not least, is a 3. Okay, so, now, the reason this is important, and there's no way for me to show both there's no way to show both it and me at the same time, so we're going to focus on it for just a second. So, the important thing about this is, as you play cards, every card of the suit that you play lowers its reputation by 1. And you have to follow suit, just like a traditional trick-taking game. So if I play the heirs, which are the trump suit, they win against everything except for some of the special cards in the game. If I play an heir, everybody else has to lead an heir. Well, if they all play heirs in a 4-player game, it goes down 1 for mine, 1 for each other player. Now this suit is worth nothing. It has no value for the rest of this hand. For the rest of this hand of cards, the yellow suit does nothing. It no longer trumps anything. It no longer has any special abilities. It's useless. So you want to get it out early in the game, or you want to save it until the very end when you can make it matter. But it means that there's a tempo to the game that doesn't exist in other trick-taking games. Because if I have a handful of green cards, and green is at a 7, I know that green is really strong. And people have to follow suit. So if I have a handful of green cards, I can just keep throwing green cards out all day long to win tricks. Now, if they have the trump suit sitting in their hands, and they have a whole lot of it, then I'm probably going to lose a few of those tricks, but the longer I'm in the lead playing green cards, the more tricks that I can take. Now, the third reason that I love this game is that it is a betting game. Like, you tell everybody before a round how many tricks you're going to take. And if you meet that number, good on you, you get the points. If you exceed that number, oh well, you get the points that you bid and hope you bid closer next time. If you don't make it, then you actually lose points. And so you really want to try to be accurate with your bidding. However, one of the things that that I like about this game is that there are ways around that. So, like, for example, this Prophet that I showed you earlier, the zeros are all special ability cards. He'll actually let you lower your bid by one if you play him. He may not win you the trick, but he may save you some points in the long run. You also have the Influencer here. Everybody gets one of these at the beginning of the game. You don't get them dealt out, everybody just has one. The reason that this is important is because it means that you can lower the reputation of one of the factions by one. So that reputation track, you have the ability to influence it. Now, once you use this, it's out of the game, and you play one hand for every player. So in a 4-player game, you can only use this once, but on the one hand you use it on, you could potentially make something totally useless. What's even better is you can actually make something unlimited. If it's not on the track at all, like if it's not represented, like in this setup, right now, yellows aren't represented. That means yellows have unlimited loyalty. They'll never run out. So yellows will always have their power. Yellows will always be useful. So, you can potentially use this to completely remove a suit from usefulness. If it's low enough on the track. Or everybody could conspire to do so. There's also, like in every trick-taking game, there's a variant on shooting the moon, where, if you can not take any tricks, you get points. And again, you have to declare that ahead of time, but it's a really awesome variation on the trick-taking game, where the value of your cards changes as the hand goes on. Not just in what people play, but in what has been played. Yeah, I think it really is an awesome little game. Like, if you like trick-taking games at all, you owe it to yourself to check this one out, because this is unlike any trick-taker I have played. Like, you won't be long getting up and running, because it plays like a trick-taker. You play a card, everybody has to follow suit. If they can't follow suit, they throw off. But it has a lot of neat twists that change the value of the suits in the middle of the game, and that makes it totally unique. So, again, Nick, Daniel, Smart Play, Marisa, you did a fantastic job on this one, and those are the 3 things that I love about Heir to Europa. Hopefully you guys will see a few more of these. Later.